what I was told, that isn't necessarily the case with them. Can that happen? Potentially. Um, but I was also told that there are, amicable ways to separate. Um, and if I've been lied to, then that is a bridge that I will cross. Something that I was just talking to Flop about um, was um, he knows, or Flop was saying that he knows how, or rather that I would keep myself safe along with everybody here in whatever way that I can. Um, and this is sort of what I'm about to say, or this idea that I'm about to say, is if you know everything has gone wrong, and I know that you guys have that idea um, in mind pretty on the regular, because that's that can be the reality of things. So I understand. But should everything go wrong, um, after all the conversations that I've had with these people, and the ways that I've been helping them cope with either addictions or childhood traumas or whatever else they may be going on, or that they may have going on, uh, if they were to decide we don't need Ziggy anymore, um, not only would they uh, crumble a little, uh, I have contingencies in place should anything occur. It's a sort of understanding of a mutually assured destruction, which is not a good basis, to stand on, but it is, you know, a safety net, albeit a thin one. So there is that. Uh, but beyond that, I don't, you know, I understand how you guys view them, and honestly, I also, see them in that way of, they do things that are not um, necessarily justified. Um, but when I talk to them and, hear about the shit that they've dealt with, there's a perspective that I gain on it. Again, not trying to justify it, um, but having gone through similar stuff, one growing up, two before I was a cop, um, there's an understanding there, and there's a want. There is a want for me to, uh, help them in the way of their mental stability, um, in terms of therapy stuff. With law stuff, that honestly, I do law stuff as a money thing. Um, I'm not a big fan of the work. It's tedious and annoying. So that is that is fully where I stand with all of it.
Did you make those contingency plans sort of ahead of time, or did you suddenly realize you're in a position in which you felt it necessary?
Um, the idea of the contingencies were have always been there. Um, that's sort of the cop brain, but fully setting them into motion, I have not done yet, and I will now.
You do understand that should they realize or even hear of
Mhm.
the idea, the likelihood of them doing something, even to their detriment, is fairly high.
Mhm. So um, they they know who I am, who I was, and they know that you guys are my family. Um, they understand that um, that is not something to be uh, abused or taken advantage of. That is, um, you know, that was, it wasn't talked about at length, but it was, um, you know, addressed in some way. I mean, the topic of Flop has come up a lot. He's my husband, and he is a cop, and I think the general consensus is, you know, they understand that everyone here has their job to do, and that is not going to interfere or be, like I said, taken advantage of because of um, just the whole situation. Now, I don't expect you guys to hold them to that or believe that at all, um,
Well,
because
no,
you know,
I I believe it, and I believe that you believe it, and I think that'll remain true until they're put in a spot
mm,
in which that's no longer the case, and that's the concern.
okay, okay, I understand that. That's fair. Um, okay. Um, all right. Well, I want to say this, um, and this may be obviously poor decisions just overall on on my part. I have no problems admitting that. But uh, let's say for whatever reason safety net fails. Um, it, I will put myself in the way of anything that may happen, um, and I don't think that that's going to be the case. And I don't want to view it as that, but I understand. We're thinking worst case scenario. Uh, if they want something done because of something that I have done, then it will be to me and nobody here.
Be clear, that's what you're hoping for. Remember, Ziggy, cogs in a wheel. Something cheap and dirty in an attempt to force you to do something you otherwise wouldn't. Get you to get back in operation despite the fact that you're slipping, you're slow.
Hmm.
They want you to go faster and faster, despite your
Mm-hmm.
environment being, you literally not being capable. When you get to a point where you want something to do something, or you want someone to do something,
Mm-hmm.
I've said this a million times, probably to every one of you. You want to hurt someone, you don't target them, you target the people they care about. So that that person can watch all of the people they love get hurt because of the one person in the center, you in this case,
Mm-hmm.
feel guilty and will do what they ask to prevent the people around you from getting hurt. So I
If
think your
I,
intent is good, Ziggy, but remember, we're talking about people who are willing to do crazy things.
mm-hmm.
Oh,
That's there's people selling drugs. That's happening recently up here. Anyway, um, and I agree with what you're saying, and I know that that is the potential for that is can most certainly be a reality. However, if I get even a vague notion of that, uh, they will have to kill me. Um, I've told Flop this. I told Richard this the other day. Uh, if I am forced to make a choice, it is you guys every time.
Yeah, that's the problem, Ziggy. Because if we're gonna move past this, Ziggy, you had no right to put me and Matt in the position of losing another son. You had no right putting Flop in the position of losing his husband or Etta losing a brother-in-law. Because that's what it's boiled down to.
I'm gonna stop you. I understand that you are hurt and afraid of reliving what happened with Cody. But we all take chances like that every single day. Every time Flop goes on duty, I know you said it was apples to oranges earlier, but every time Flop puts on a badge, every time Matt puts on a badge, every time you did, we all took a risk to help the people of the city. These people that I'm trying to help right now cope with their shit. It's a similar fucking thing, and I understand you see it in a different light because they are people who do bad shit. I fully understand. I get it. But my goal with all of this is to try and help them cope with the terrible shit that they've been through. And all of your goal is to help the people of the city overall, and it's a different perspective. So in that way, I see the difference. But all the same, in terms of the risk, to say that I am outright different because of it. Let's say Flop does something in his line of work. He gets involved with the case, and now whoever it is starts targeting his family. Let's say I fuck up with this group of people or whatever, and they start targeting my family. Do you see the correlation? I understand. You're afraid, and I'm going to make sure that in every step that I take, that you don't have to relive a situation like that. But these people, while they may have different points of views, they are still just people who have gone through some pretty horrible shit. And that's it. That's it. That is where I'm at with it.
I know.
While I don't necessarily disagree with Richard, Ziggy, I think wholeheartedly you wanting to help them, I fully believe you had good intent. But I also think it's fair to say you're probably flying a little too close to the sun regarding that.
Ow.
Oftentimes, we want to help people, Ziggy, and it sometimes it's not possible, Ziggy. And it sounds like you've taken on, I don't want to call it the burden. That sounds disrespectful, but sometimes, let me reword this. It seems like there is way too much on your plate right now. And I think even with good intent, even with being willing to help these people, you're probably split so many different ways if you have to help as many people as you're kind of alluding to, that there may not be as much of a contribution to each person, I guess, that you want. And one thing I've always preached being in the police department is that you need to be the best you that you can be before helping anybody else, Iggy. And I think given the position you're in now, again, even if you went into this with really good intent, I don't know if you can help these people, when in the back of your mind you have to consider every action you take to determine whether or not there's some path that somebody can be thinking in their mind of hurting the people around you to get you to do something you otherwise wouldn't. What I'm saying here is, again, you went into it with good intent, but I don't think realistically it's attainable.
I think that first I want to say that I understand where you're coming from with that, but in saying that, it is based on a preconceived view of not only them but me a little bit. I when I was a cop and I studied and became psychology slash behavioral analyst. It was some of the most enjoyable police work that I did. Being able to understand why people do the things that they do, and it's a similar thing now. And you are right. There, I'll never be able to prevent every single bad situation that occurs to them, or even be able to give them proper ways to cope with the things that have occurred. Sometimes that is just unfortunately the case. But in doing so, and I think that maybe you could even relate this to police work, because I know I did. If I could help someone in any small way, if it just improves their day to day in a small way, then it's worth it to me, frankly. And being stretched thin is understandable and a reality of it. And I told them, if I at any point feel stretched thin, I will take time to myself. I will step away and deal with whatever I need to be dealing with. And not a single one, not a single person has pushed back when I said that I need time to myself. I have not been pushed or forced, and I get that because of past experiences, you guys may see that as what could happen. And honestly, I get it too. If that ever becomes the case, then I will fully understand my situation. But as it stands presently, I'm not being made to do any of it. And if I feel that I am either one, not helping, two, being stretched too thin, I can freely step away and take time for myself. I don't want to refute every point you guys make, because I do understand it. And it overall, after all of this, I know it's not a smart decision, in a few different ways. So I don't want to fight back on everything you guys are saying. I understand I understand my place in all of this. And if anything changes in any negative way, I will handle it appropriately, and I will make sure that nobody gets hurt. I understand the risks. I'm sorry that I'm sorry that I even brought all of this here, and I know that it's sort of an afterthought apology. I did not think that it would have the impact that it has. So I fully grasp that now, and the reason why I hadn't said anything before is because I didn't really want people to worry. But that that was foolish of me. So
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I mean, in saying that, though, You did bring up a good point. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that what you said wasn't true. On duty every day. We potentially get targeted by people. Their mindset doesn't change. If they were really fucked up, same thing applies. If you really hate someone and want to get to them, you go for the people they care about. Which does mean that when we're on duty and we're doing our job and we upset somebody, same thing applies to pretty much everyone around us. So I'm not necessarily saying that makes all this go away, but you're not wrong. There is, at first I was seeing it from a very skewed perspective of, well, Ziggy, yeah, of course, except we put on the badge. We willingly take that risk. But it doesn't stop there. If we upset the wrong people, you're at risk. Ed is at risk. Pop's at risk. Everyone around us, if they really wanted to. So, I don't want to end this conversation without at least acknowledging and bringing that up, because I feel it's important. Yeah.
Thank you.
I guess I'll show you. Sorry for threatening to punch you in the face yesterday. That being said, to put the facts on the table here, is you're in. I think it would be naive of us to assume that you will have a clean way out if that ever happens. I can also understand that you do have good intentions, and I trust you on that. But at the end of the day, you are now I don't know how long it's been, but you're a member of a violent gang, organization, club, whatever you want to call them. That's fact. And I guess we're going to have to deal with that as a family. And what that means is the first step for that, and I think we're starting in the right spot here, is no more lies. No more half-truths. No more dodging questions. Just for everybody's mental and physical welfare. And this goes both ways. This isn't just you to us. This is us to you as well. We can't be having secrets in this family, because it only leads to pain. As much as, you were worried about us finding out, didn't want us to worry. Matt made the point downstairs about whether or not we were right to lie to Flop for all these years about his situation. And maybe we were wrong. And this is it. This is the moment right here that changes. We make decisions as a family, and we tell each other the truth. And that's how we deal with this in the best way possible. That's how we make the best of a shitty situation. And as much as I said things yesterday, I don't see you differently, Ziggy. At least until you start going around and hurting people or being involved in that kind of thing, then he's still just that guy that crashes his car at 100 miles an hour into trees everywhere and helps people out. And also is the person that loves my son very much.
Hmm. Okay. Thank you.
Blob,
Hmm.
you okay?
Um, I have some stuff I need to think about, or on my own. Um, some of it work related, some of it just getting a bearing. But I'm sorry for lashing out.
You're fine.
Hmm.
I think we're probably going to need a little bit of time to get back to normal, if normal's ever going to be a thing again.
I before we go anywhere, I having had the chance after our talk the other day, Richard, I ran into Etta because she was here, and she talked with me quite a bit about everything that was going on. But something that I wanted to recognize and bring up to everybody here, um, and I mentioned this to Etta a little bit ago. Um, Etta, sees and hears a lot of the stuff that you know us boys talk about between each other, whether it be work or just other stuff, um, and now even family stuff. Uh, I I expressed obviously that I appreciate Etta for everything that she does in terms of talking to us about the stuff that we have going on. But I want to recognize that, um, or rather implore everyone here, and this includes myself too, make sure that we are checking in on her because she has a lot going on. She's literally the city council treasurer, and she's dealing with a psychopath for a mayor that is breathing down her neck pretty on the regular. Um, and I I want to make sure that she is also heard. I know that we've talked about a lot already, um, but Etta also has a lot going on, and I don't want that to go ignored or unanswered. She is an equal part, and I would say a really important part of this family because, you know, even with all of this, even with everything she has going on, she has decided, or well, not decided, but she has helped ground me and calm me down whenever shit was going on. So
How are you doing, Etta?
I'm okay, I guess. Max
I know,
wants me dead, but
yeah, she was telling me that Max had potentially put out like a hit or something, or at least mentioned it.
Again?
it's constant, never ending. He just wants me dead. Because I refuse to stop being a thorn in his side.
funny that you say that because somehow I'm also a thorn in his side. Had a brief conversation with Siobhan, and she said that Max had called me insignificant, which I thought was funny, ironic even, because somehow everything I do in the police department upsets him. And I don't understand how somebody who believes me to be so insignificant can let someone like me or you upset him as much as we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say you're doing an incredible fucking job, frankly. Just, I mean, obviously I don't know all the details, but from what I've heard / seen of city council stuff, and I know that obviously it has put you in a difficult place, even in danger. You holding on to your convictions and what you feel to be right, even in light of all of that, is I don't think there could be anybody else better for the role, frankly.
Thanks.
I'll even add on to that. I don't even know how long ago it was when we spoke about it, when you said you were originally thinking you were going to get fired. And I told you to write it out. But I also told you that the reason that he feels so strong on you is because the mayor's not looking for respect, he's looking for compliance.
Exactly.
And I think the fact that you were not compliant with his, with all due respect, demands only shows why you were so valuable for the role and as resilient as you are.
Thanks. It can be incredibly, well, it has been very isolating. And I guess that's why I kind of rely on all of you so much. That's why I'm constantly reaching out, because I don't really have anybody else that I can rely on. And it's hard, but it's also really important.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
Yeah.
Family's for, right?
Yeah.
I will say, I think you work a pretty thankless job for keeping quite a bit in line. So, and you don't get enough recognition for that. And obviously, I wish that were different, but I want you to know that we, at the very least here, recognize that. Okay.
Thank you. In all honesty, I probably would have caved a long time ago if it hadn't been for Sean.
Mm.
He's been incredibly good to me.
Hmm. I don't want to cut this short. I unfortunately do have to get going.
Me
I
too.
will say this. I love all of you. Okay. And if you ever need to talk, I know I'm difficult to get a hold of. 90% of the time, I'm not picking up a phone call. But if you need me, call. and call and call. I see a number call me 2-3 times. Unless I'm in a shootout or traveling at 190 miles an hour and literally unable to pick up the phone, I will pick up. And regardless of the circumstances, if it is urgent, if you need me, I will be there. Or if you call and send me a text message, you know, if I don't pick up saying it's urgent, emergency, something, so that I know immediately that I need to, you know, sort out whatever's going on, and break off, I will. So,
Thank you.
Okay.
and also, I'm not apologizing for this, but sometimes I don't pick up because the phone number don't show your name. It's just a number, okay? No, I think Richard's, I think the sixth, seventh number of his phone starts with an 8. I think that's what I've gathered.
Yeah.
He does the fourth from the last.
42817 8147.
8147. See, I knew that if it's got an 8 after the dash, I'm pretty sure it's
I don't even
Richard.
know my own phone number.
Oh, mine's
Yeah, I
420
just had to change
600
mine.
8581.
What
How
the
do,
hell?
how do you guys know that offhand?
Oh, I don't know, but both of our, you know, the last 4 starts with an 8. That's how I know his. Barely.
I just know it starts with 420.
Okay.
That's it. That's all I know.
Everybody's down.
I know. I know.
Yeah, that's what I had to change mine, but yeah, that's
Okay.
okay. Will do.
Yeah, I think you know, we talked about a lot, and it's a lot to process. So I mean, maybe we just. I'm really grateful that we had the chance to talk, because I was really, yeah. I just want to say, one, that I'm sorry again. Two, that I also love you guys and really, really do appreciate you.
I love you all.
I love you all.
You guys are all right. I'm kidding.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna go actually spend
Oh,
my
you
day
dropped
off.
something.
You dropped,
Yeah,
you dropped
I
something.
did drop
Yeah,
something. What
yeah.
It was a
what did I
coin.
drop?
Here, let me grab it.
That's okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah,
Thank
there
you.
it is.
Oh,
Yeah.
perfect.
Oh.
Thank you. All right, great. Thank
I'll see you guys later.
you.
I
Thursday D&D. Thursday
Okay.
D&D, sometime in the afternoon.
Okay.
yeah.
Wait, is
Okay.
this the comedic relief part?
I think
Yes.
so.
Okay, Ziggy, you mentioned something about Coke. You know they have Diet Coke, right?
I know
Oh.
you did. I hate you for that.
That was
hate-
amazing,
I hate
actually.
On that note, I gotta go.
Hey, Matt,
Yeah.
before you leave, I was told that you and I need to have a conversation about something else soon.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. Okay.
We actually don't. We just had that conversation.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we did. I heard what I
He-
needed to.
He literally never puts anything before me, and his love has not waned a single day in 3 months.
I'm glad to hear that. And like I said, I heard exactly what I needed to. So I have my answer, and I'll be letting him know as soon as I see him.
Okay, he hasn't had a chance to talk to Richard yet, so
I'm sure he's heard everything as well.
okay.
All right, Edda. I'll
All right.
see ya. Bye. Love you. Hello?
Hello.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Is that Etta with you up there?
Yeah,
Does she know anyone with a...
I know.
Whose car is this?
That's Fiona Stewart's car.
Why? Why?
That sounds like a conversation you might need to have with your housemates.
Huh? Okay, I was just concerned that someone may have been in the area trying to hide.
Wait, hold on. They actually got. Oh, that's Barrick's wife's car.
The fuck did you just say?
I think the line's breaking up.
Well, you learn something new every day. I'm so confused. Genuinely, I am so confused. That. Okay, well. On that note, chat, we are calling it. So that being said, thank y'all so much for all love and support. I appreciate it. Thank y'all for the follows, host raids, bits, donation subs, gift subs, resubs. I say this each and every time. I genuinely cannot have asked for a better community to build around this channel. So thank y'all for being absolutely amazing. If y'all haven't already, follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/Curvyelephant. Join our Discord, discord.gg/Curvyelephant. If you enjoyed what you saw today, drop me a follow on Twitch. I'd appreciate that as well. I'm going to get y'all sent off to... is Chris live still? I don't know if Sock is. Sock isn't. Chris, okay, perfect. There we are. All right, I'm gonna get y'all sent off to Chris. Chat, go show him some love. It was absolutely phenomenal. I'm gonna say this before ending. That whole scenario gave me Prime at its peak. Just like, oh my, how do I explain this? Just like Prime like at its peak 3.0 vibes. 3.0, 2.0, CKR War, playing Kevin Shaw, combination of it all. Ah, fuck, man. This has been phenomenal. I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna get y'all sent off to Chris. Go show him some love, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace out.